One of our recipes for breakfast potatoes are home fries. For this recipe, you will need 2 teaspoons of salt, half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. If you use white pepper, use half the amount because it is more potent. 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of paprika. Put those on the side. The rest of the ingredients that you need are a medium red pepper, a small white onion, and 2 to 3 garlic cloves. You will also need olive oil, about 1/3 of a cup, and about 1.5 pounds of either Red Bliss or Yukon Gold all-purpose potatoes, or you can use a waxy potato. First thing I'm going to do is prepare my potatoes because I'm going to cook them separately from the onions and the peppers. I'm going to dice them up in about a large dice. They don't have to be perfect in size, but you want them to be all around the same size so that they cook at the same rate in the oven. If you have a larger potato, you may have to make more cuts per potato. You can even cut them into wedges if you desire. I'm going to continue cutting these. Please note that they have all been pre-cleaned before cutting. I like them to be dry for when I start to season them. You're going to put them in a large bowl. You're going to add your seasoning mixture. About 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Don't be too shy. And you're going to mix them really well together. Okay, you want to make sure that your seasoning mixture is evenly distributed throughout all of the potatoes. Then you're going to take your potatoes and you're going to put them on a sheet pan. I line it with parchment paper so that it's easier for me to clean later. But you don't need to do that. If you don't do that, just spray the bottom of your sheet pan before putting the potatoes on top. Make sure you spread the potatoes out into a nice even layer so they all have access to the heat of the sheet pan and they can cook evenly. I'm going to put them in my oven. My oven is about 400 degrees and I'm going to cook them for about 35 minutes until they're nice and golden brown and soft. In the meantime, I'm going to cook my peppers and my onions and my garlic. I'm going to start off with about a tablespoon of olive oil in a heated saute pan, and I'm going to add my diced onions and peppers. We're looking for a small dice on the onions and the peppers for this recipe. If you wanted to use green peppers, you definitely could. If you wanted to omit the peppers altogether, you can. But the onions and the peppers together really add some great flavor. The reason that I saute these on the side instead of putting them in the oven with the potatoes because I don't want them to burn during the cooking process. When the onions are translucent and the peppers are soft, you could actually add your garlic in for the last 30 seconds to 1 minute, making sure that nothing is burning. I'm going to take my potatoes out of the oven and I'm going to add my peppers and my onions and garlic mixture to them, and I'm going to combine it well. Make sure you get every little bit out of the pan. You don't want to leave anything behind. So now I'm going to evenly distribute, gently mixing the onions and pepper mixture into the potatoes. Just make sure that you are not crushing any of the potatoes because they should be soft to the touch at this point because they are just about finished cooking. Before I put them back in the oven, I spread them out along the bottom of the sheet pan again just to make sure that they're in a nice even layer so that they can evenly cook. I'm going to put them back into the oven for about 10 minutes at the same temperature of 400 degrees. When my potatoes are done, I'm going to take them off of the sheet pan and put them in our serving bowl. They should be golden brown, flavorful, and your onions and peppers should not be burned because you cook them separately, but their flavor has transferred to the potatoes during the last few minutes of the cooking process. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Let us know if you try it at home. It's one of my favorites.